The hard R, monkey, watermelon eater, small eyes is some examples of straightforward racism I used to hear more often in my earlier years. And after doing a little bit of reflection, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like racism used to be much more straightforward back in the day. Yes, racism sucked, but at least we knew what side you were on. Now, in my opinion, it's not far-fetched to say that Gen Z typically considers themselves a much more progressive generation. There was kind of like an unspoken rule where we all decided that we're gonna get rid of this for good. These harmful forms of bigotry perpetuated by older generations of society has to go, right? Growing up, I specifically remember some of the teachings of Dr. King, like the I Have a Dream speech, and learning that racism equals bad and this is something we're not gonna do. But one thing I tend to notice about Gen Z specifically is I feel like we are just finding new ways to be bigoted, masking it behind a blanket of political correctness. And I've come to the realization that Gen Z is just as bigoted as the previous generations, if not maybe even more on some occasions. So today in this video, we're gonna be going over all the people that Gen Z low-key hates with the goal of spreading awareness, but also answering the question of why does this take place and why are we repeating some of the same horrible habits of the older generations. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100K, and let's get started. Black people. So before I show you what I'm about to show you, I'm gonna give you a little bit of context. So basically all you gotta know is this term YN means young N-word thug, a thug basically. But in particular, a black person who is a thug. Now that term spread like wildfires in LA all across the internet and everybody is saying it. And it's gotten to a point where if Gen Z sees a black person doing literally anything, they basically are calling them a YN/thug. Exhibit A, black kid right here plays piano. YN being productive, they ran out of ops. Black person playing instrument, he has ops because he's black, I guess, bro. Mozart XYN, the guy, shiesty mask, guns and chains. Where do you see that? Okay, I see he has a mask on, but it might just be cold, bro. Can we not give him the benefit of the doubt? So YN learning music now. Black people can't play instruments, I guess. Now, you see what I mean when I say that Gen Z masks their bigotry behind a blanket of political correctness? You might as well just call me a Nick. Hey, no. But you get what I'm saying. Like, this is just a new way to call somebody the N-word. And it definitely doesn't help when black people are the ones who are like pushing this stereotype. Black kids, one of them is on a computer, another one is chilling here, you know what I'm saying? Them YNs taking school seriously. YNs started tutoring. They got autistic YNs now. That's actually crazy. That's actually crazy, bro. Instagram allowed GIFs in the comment section and people were using that as a platform to say the N-word. And I bet you like 90% of the people doing this would tell you it's just a joke. Not everything is a joke, bro. Not everything is a joke. There is no punchline. And speaking of Instagram Reels is literally a cesspool of hatred towards minorities, bro. Brotherly love, lovely family, siblings or dating. That's actually crazy, bro. Yo ass is not black. You can't say that. I could even use myself as an example here. People in my comment sections be saying all types of things about not only black people, but about Asian people. Saying like, nigga-chan, bro eats fried rice and fried chicken.
Previously on Avatar.
Okay, some of those are actually kind of decent just because I haven't heard those jokes before. But damn, it's getting to a point, bro. It's just an interesting phenomenon overall to witness how dark humor was pretty much destroyed in 2020. And now it's kind of just like back. There are even people who were straight up rage baiters who used an anti-black hate to create a career. I'm not even gonna tell you bro's name, but this is the weirdest, worst rage baiter I've ever seen. The dude legitimately made a cryptocurrency and called it the N-word. Get a fucking job. Now, besides African Americans, I feel like Africans also got a lot of hatred when I was growing up, especially in like school. But recently, I've been seeing more hate towards specifically Somalis. Stuff like this. How did you know I'm Somali and bro has the largest head you have ever seen in your life? Looks like the size of a hammer. Looks like the handsome Squidward picture. How much do I gotta pay y'all to become Somalian? Just put it in already. Not enough money. 1 billion and a night with LeBron James. How did you know I was Somalian? I first started to notice these stereotypes a lot after a few different Somalis going on Fresh and Fit podcasts.
These girls, they want Duke Dennis. They don't want me. It's not fair.
Oh, shut the hell up.
And then as of late, most recent trend I noticed from like a couple weeks ago was a thing called a chopped chin, where basically this dude and his mom were at a basketball game just innocently vibing, and next thing you know, bro is on the internet going viral for having a weird looking chin. He seems like a chill guy, bro. There's no way y'all are making drawings of bro. What did he do to deserve this, bro? How you know I'm Ethiopian, bro? I don't know where this trend started where we're just hating on random African ethnicities, but it's gotta be stopped. It makes me wonder, what do y'all even see as chopped anyway? So from my research on the internet, I feel like the two biggest ethnicities that you don't want to be right now, aka getting the most hate, is Somalis and also people who are Indian. Okay, so for some reason on my computer you can't see the poll, but this is a post with a poll. I'm gonna show it on the screen. Would you rather be Indian or rape your teacher? Sacrifice your daughter or be Indian for your whole life? Come on, bro. Another one, live in Attack on Titan or live in India. If you don't know the show, basically there's a bunch of man-eating monsters that are like 90 feet tall outside of these walls trying to break in and kill you. Dying to monstrous creatures in horrific living conditions or fighting titans. Die from eternal stench and rot. Rather be eaten than eat. This is what Indian street food propaganda does to people, bro. Indian food is absolutely gas. I think all these genuinely did stem from like the street food thing. Any country that has tons of poverty probably has very unhygienic practices. Not sure why India has been the one that's targeted with this type of hate. I blame the traveling influencers who come in and then try to like barter with the locals and be like, you're selling that for 10 cents? Nah, sell it to me for 8 cents instead.
40. Oh, okay. Huh? 40 or 50. Ah, okay. I want big ones.
Okay, dude's literally just dancing. I just want to pay for my gas. The Indian call after finessing me into not canceling my membership. Niggas can't dance no more. Lord, yes, me and you, the person watching this, are ready to be reincarnated as Indians in 2025. Rebuke. Hell nah, I rebuke. Nah, you alone. Will this reverse my curse if I'm already Indian? Damn, bro, you self-hate that much, bro? Outside of black people, I feel like Indians catch easily the most heat. Is it because they're darker? That actually might be why. I don't know. I feel like the darker you are, the more heat you catch, bro. It's just weird how this stuff is all of a sudden become completely accepted after 2020 when cancel culture was like a huge thing. Now, the next group of people I want to talk about is people with disabilities. Hear me out. With terms like the N-word, there was a period of time where the word got kind of blacklisted by usage from people who are not black, right? And I feel like for people with special needs, there are terms that are right now, you're not allowed to say them, etc. Like saying autistic in a derogatory way, or like the R word, for example. A couple months ago, people started just substituting the words with other words. So for example, people will call you retarded, acoustic. And it's like, bro, you might as well just say what you're trying to say, because what you're saying is still offensive. You're just trying to put like some blanket over it. And it just goes back to what I was saying earlier with Gen Z just masking their bigotry. And you're not slick, bro. You're just not slick. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Do it with your chest, all right? Say it with your chest, all right? Stop hiding behind the, it's a joke, bro. Go out and say what you really want to say. Now, for some examples, POV, your friend is acoustic. Are you restarted? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Bro's a Fall Guy character. All right. POV, you found a young black rapper inspired by autism in South Korea. How can you be... What? Punished by God 4 times. Okay, let's count the 4 times they're talking about. Okay, black, gay, disabled, that's 3. And then they're saying Jewish 4. Is that what they're talking about? Yo, bro. And then the last thing I recently seen that I want to touch on before we get out of here is like homophobia / transphobia. Dwayne Wade and Magic Johnson arguing over whose son takes more D than the other. I understand laughing at this in the moment where you're like, oh my God, that's shocking. This is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely wild. But then when you think about it, you're just making fun of and bullying an innocent person. Like, they're probably going to see this post. Do you not feel a little bit fucked up for that, bro? So let's try to find out some of the reasons why this is taking place. The not so woke Generation Z, the same young people who derided as liberal snowflakes, are moving to the right. Being woke, its members have been called snowflakes. Donald Trump, presidential election, voting polls, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I found something on Reddit that says Gen Z is the most racist generation. This might be interesting. I'm Chinese. English isn't my first language. I live in the US. I face racism and slurs online and in person from culprits that are always under 21. There's a difference between trolls and racism. Obviously, racism is racism, and obviously trolls being racist is racism. But we surely agree that troll racism is not the same as blatant racism in your everyday life. Actual straight up racists literally do believe what they say. The point of the racism is that you are literally lesser as a human being because of innate traits. Interesting. I will say, okay, yeah, I do understand that some people are just trolling to get a reaction out of people, but there's no way to tell if they're actually just trolling or if they actually believe what they say, especially in like a little interaction of a comment section, an Omegle chat, etc. Like, how can you really derive or make a difference between a troll racist and an actual racist in the span of a 15-second conversation? I would argue that if you're gonna say this to other people in their face, you kind of have to believe it to an extent to really even say something like that with a straight face. There's no amount of trolling I could do to a point where I would feel comfortable going up to an Indian person and just saying, oh, if I call you a slur because I genuinely believe myself to be superior, or if I call you a slur for a laugh, the effect on you is going to be similar either way. Interesting, good point. So basically what they're saying is it doesn't really matter the intentions of the original troll. It's more about the effects of the words that you say on the person you're talking to, which I 100% agree with. Regardless of if you're trolling or you're genuinely are a racist person, what you say feels the same way both ways. In my opinion, there are fewer racists, but racism is both more public due to the internet and more prominent because society is less accepting. There isn't as much casual racism because you get quickly slapped for it regardless. I think that's part of why people try to mask what they say with things like acoustic, because they know there's going to be some harsh repercussions of using said terminology. Here's my thing. Okay, I don't think that Gen Z is the worst and most racist generation. I think as time goes on, society has gotten more accepting, more woke. I just think that Gen Z is just not there yet. But no, they're not the most racist generation. Gen Z has turned into a hate sub ever since the election. So basically they're saying that since Donald Trump was elected 2 months ago, that things have gotten worse. I don't know if I would say that it's been since the election. I feel like this has been a thing for a little while. What's with Gen Z using slurs that millennials work to remove from general lexicon today? Why are Gen Z casually constantly using that's so gay and that's so R word? See, yeah, okay, this is exactly what we talked about earlier. Gay people or whatever. I feel like one thing I didn't talk about yet, I feel like I especially see women doing this, where there'll be like a new thing where men don't want to do something, or they do want to do something and people will say, oh, he's gay. They'll find a different audio, TikTok sound or whatever.
Oh, period, poo. Gay ass. God forgive me, man.
That's also like a topic for another day. I think just dark humor as a whole being a thing that's like front and center is a problem as well. Like, there's a reason why dark humor is considered dark humor and something that you only use among your friends. It's very subjective. It's supposed to be very niche, and it shouldn't be something that's all over the place. Hear me out. I do feel like you could blame some of the older content creators from back in the day, hi dubs, for spreading a lot of racist rhetoric and dark humor online and teaching kids how to use it. So maybe this is the fault of, I don't know, the older generation teaching it to young people. Racism or bigotry is always learned. It's not something that you just pick up inherently. It's not like passed down genetically or something. Now, if you watched until this point, thank you very much. And now I want to talk about why this really matters to me, because you might be thinking, oh, it's not that deep, it's not that serious, but I would argue that there are very, very serious repercussions of bigotry, racism, etc. online. And I'm gonna use an example right now. Basically, this kid right here, he lit up a school, and I'm not talking about with candlelights or anything like that. He was basically a self-hating black person, all right? He believed that white people were like the superior race. Basically, he expressed shame about being black. He literally admitted to being on social media too much. He was on like 4chan, alt-right subreddits and forums and different discussions or whatever. Like, bro genuinely hated his own kind so much to the point that he believed that he was a part of an inferior race. Rest in peace to the victims of that incident. I do believe it was just one person. Now, to connect that back to the main subject, I do feel like examples like this could show you guys that although some people are trying to be funny, you never know who's being funny or who's being serious. You never know who's really being influenced by these thoughts, especially when people on these apps are very, very young and are easily influenced. It can make you think certain things of your kind that are just simply untrue. Like, this same thing could happen with an Indian kid being fed anti-Indian propaganda and anti-Indian hate, or a Chinese person, or an autistic person, a gay person. You get what I'm trying to say? So although it might feel like, oh, some of these things are just jokes, everybody's just trolling and it's not that deep, I feel like it can be that deep, and there is a time and place where it's like, okay, bro, this is getting way too far. If you are gonna be using dark humor and things like that, there should at least be like punchlines and jokes. I would only use it among my own friend groups that know how to like take this type of humor, not publicly online and spread it to different people. Even myself, growing up, there was an association with dark skin being a bad thing, and I feel like that would be even worse, or that effect would be even worse in today's generation, in today's society, where things like TikTok, short form content, and so much internet. There are kids out there who are on social media scrolling right now, watching their race or their demographic get shit on all day long, bro. Like, genuinely imagine an Indian kid or a Somali kid going online, opening their phone and seeing videos and posts of people genuinely making polls that they would rather grape their teacher than be their race. Let me know if you think I'm looking at it too deep. Do you think that there is a connection with the school incident and bigotry online? I definitely feel like there is, just because bro looked up to people like creators like Nick Fuentes, who says your body, my choice. In conclusion, we're still saying terrible things about people and just masking it behind it's not that deep and it's just a joke and it's just a troll. But as we saw earlier, what happens when the trolls go too far and it gets in people's heads and it makes them do crazy things? We can see what happens when people grow up learning to hate themselves. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think it's that deep? Do you think that there's an issue? Do you think that Gen Z is still bigoted? Do you think that Gen Z is more bigoted than other generations? Do you think that I'm just yapping? Do you think that's not a real big issue? Make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next. Join the Discord link in the description. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. Just love you all. I love you, and I'm out.